Aloha everyone and welcome to class. The purpose of this video is twofold, two things. First, it's going to give you an introduction to what we're going to do over the course of this class. And secondly, it's going to give you a starting point for your first assignment. Okay, so let's talk about the class. Over the whole course of this class, you are going to develop one thing. You're going to make one thing. You're going to make some instruction for 1 hour and only 1 hour. I know that may not sound like a lot, but we are going to go into the instructional design process in depth. And we're going to use a kind of variation of the IDD model: analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. And you're going to walk through each one of these steps. Okay, so you're going to go through an analysis process, a design process. You're going to develop some instruction and build some instructional pieces. You're going to implement that instruction and deliver it to somebody that will take your instruction, try to accomplish your objectives, and then we're going to evaluate that instruction and see if it is effective. Okay, so this is a pretty in-depth process. This is not going to be an easy class. This stuff is very time-consuming to do it well, and we're going to expect you to do well. Okay, so the bar is pretty high here for this course, and we expect some good work out of you. Okay, so that's what we're going to do over the whole course, is develop instruction for a 1 hour time frame that will be delivered online and be given to one person without a teacher. Okay, so that brings me to the constraints. Here, I'll bring them up for you. The constraints for this project are that it is a standalone instruction. There's no teacher involved here. You're going to have to teach somebody without actually teaching them. So your materials are going to have to completely stand by themselves without any help. They're going to have to be set up in a way that the student can go through the instruction step by step and not lose their way. So, you know, it's not impossible to do, and people do it all the time. Instruction is made this way all the time. So you can do this, but it's going to take some time and some thought and to accomplish that objective. Okay. Secondly, it's going to be given to one person. So you can't rely on student discussion. You can't rely on anything like that for them to accomplish the objective. They are just going to be them and the materials, and that's it. What is important here is that your person needs to be unfamiliar with your instruction. It can't be something that they know a lot about, so that you can actually measure whether or not the instruction works when you perform your evaluation. It's going to be done in 1 hour, and so the instructional problem that you're going to pick needs to be small. It needs to be a small problem. For instance, this may sound like a good instructional problem. You know, students having struggles with understanding the structure of the human cell. Okay, that sounds like a pretty good problem, but not doable within an hour. So you need to whittle that down to maybe helping the student struggling to understand mitosis and have that be your instructional problem. So you need to whittle it down to something that can be accomplished within an hour, okay, as you pick your instructional situation and instructional problem. Okay, so that 1 hour time frame is important. The last one is this is going to be delivered online. So your instructional problem needs to be something that can be learned online. For example, a lot of hands-on things that are learned, that require hands-on learning, it's going to be very difficult for you to assess whether or not they've learned it. You can demonstrate it. For instance, if you want to show someone how to build a carburetor for a car or something, you can demonstrate that to them, but then how are you going to assess that? How are you going to determine whether or not they've learned that? So be careful with things that are hands-on, that require you to watch someone do something in order to assess whether or not they've learned it. Okay, so this instruction is going to be delivered online, and so you need to kind of work with it in that constraint. Okay, so this is the introduction to your first assignment. You need to come up with an instructional situation, an instructional problem of some sort. I'll bring up this example. Okay, you can see from my example that I've picked something that can be accomplished within an hour. I'm not trying to teach them all of genetics. I'm just trying to teach them how genes are inherited, and and to what degree, and help them explain that. So the whole purpose of the instruction is to just get them to be able to explain inheritance and how genes are inherited. Okay, so you need to be thinking of something like that, something that's small, can be done within an hour, and start thinking through your instructional problem. And that's going to be your first assignment, is describing your instructional situation and what you want to teach, and what kind of problem. And I want you to phrase this in the form of a problem. So what is the problem? What is it they don't know? What is it they can't explain? And you'll notice I didn't put the word understand in this. I'm not trying to get them to understand something. That is very difficult to measure, is how well a person understands something. But you can measure how well a person can explain something, or how well a person can identify something, or how well a person can do something. That's important as you state your instructional problem. So as you state your instructional problem, don't use the word understand or know. Couch it in terms of explaining, identifying, those types of things that will help you as you come up with your objectives down the road. Okay, thank you.